Okay, so once again, good day, everyone. So today, I will be the one who in charge to discuss the Module 1, no, Introduction to Learner-Centered Teaching. So learner-centered teaching is a foundational principle in the Philippine education because it directly aligns with the philosophy of education emphasized in the PRC licensure examination. No? So where teachers are expected to demonstrate an understanding of how learners construct knowledge based on their experiences, context, and developmental needs. In contrast, to dominated instruction, no? Because previously when I was in elementary, in the high school, all instruction, all discussion coming from the teacher. But this time, that is what we call teacher-dominated instructions. Learner-centered teaching recognizes students as active participants rather than passive recipient of information. When you say passive, you're just only accepting information. No? Before. Now, let's say for example, no, in grade 6 mathematics class in public school, let's say in Tingloy, no, a teacher may begin a lesson on fractions by asking learners to share experiences of dividing food at home and such as sharing a pizza, no, or rice during family meals. This approach allows learners to connect abstract mathematical concept to familiar real life situation. In the left, no, licensure examination for teachers, question often assess whether future teachers can identify teaching strategies that promote meaningful learning rather than rote memorization. So learner-centered teaching also respect individual differences, which is consistent with the Philippine professional standards for teachers, particularly Domain 3 on diversity of learners. When teacher design lessons, that consider learners' backgrounds, interests, and learning styles, and they improve engagement and comprehension. And this philosophy, no, prepare future educators to answer scenario-based let questions that ask which teaching approach best support understanding, retention, and learner motivation. A key characteristics, no, of learner-centered teaching is the teacher's role as a facilitator. Okay? Which is frequently tested, no, in the let through situational questions. In the Philippines classroom, no, this means guiding learners through inquiry, discussion, and problem solving rather than simply delivering lectures. For instance, no, in a senior high school aralin panlipunan class, no, discussion or discussing the Philippine Constitution, teacher may divide students into groups and assign them different articles of the Constitution to analyze and relate to current national issues instead of providing all the explanation. So the teacher asks probing questions that encourage critical thinking and collaborative learning. So this method, no, reflects uh, constructivist theories by Piaget and Gatsky, no, which are common references in professional education examination question. So, learner-centered classroom also promote communication skills, leadership, and accountability among students, all of which are competencies highlighted in the K-12 curriculum. So in rural schools, no, such as those in provinces like Lanao del Sur or Eastern Samar or Tingloy, no, facilitation may involve community-based example that reflect local culture and realities. So let examinees are often asked to do to choose strategies uh, that empower learners rather than control them, making mastery of this teaching rule essential for board exam preparation. Assessment practices in learner-centered teaching are also aligned with LET competencies, no? Particularly in evaluating learning beyond traditional paper and pencil tests. In the Philippine context, no, formative assessments such as portfolios, performance tasks, and reflective journals are encouraged by the Department of Education and are consistent with learner-centered principles. Let's say, for example, in an English class, no, students may be asked to create a short spoken word poetry piece reflecting social issues in their community, which is then assessed using a rubric. No? And this type of assessment allows learner to demonstrate understanding, creativity, and communication skills simultaneously. So let questions or licensure exam teacher for teachers question open assess whether teachers know when to use formative versus summative assessment and which assessment best measure higher order thinking skills. So learner-centered assessment also provides timely feedback, enabling students to recognize their strengths and areas for improvement. In overcrowded public classrooms, so teachers may use peer assessment and self-assessment to support learning while managing large class sizes. No? So understanding these assessment strategies helps future teachers answers let our licensure examination for teacher items related to classroom evaluation, feedback, and learner progress monitoring. Another important aspect of learner-centered teaching is its alignment with inclusive education, which is a major focus in the Philippine education policies and the licensure examination for teachers. No? So learner-centered classroom accommodate students with varied abilities, including learner with disabilities, indigenous learners, and students from marginalized sectors. Let's say, for example, no, in public elementary school, implementing inclusive education, a teacher may modify activities by allowing oral responses instead of written ones for learners with writing difficulties. And this practice reflects the principle of differentiated instruction, which is frequently tested in the LET under learner diversity and classroom management. So when I say let is licensure examination for teachers. No? So not for me to spell out always. No? Okay, so learner-centered teaching also promotes respect, no, empathy, and collaboration among students, which are values emphasized in the Code of Ethics for Professional Teachers. In Philippine classrooms, no, where students come from diverse linguistic and cultural backgrounds, teacher may allow the use of the mother tongue during initial discussions to promote understanding. Let examinees are expected to identify teaching approaches that uphold equity and fairness, making learner-centered strategies crucial for exam success. So, through understanding inclusion through a learner-centered lens, future teachers are better prepared for both real classroom and board examination scenario. So, learner-centered teaching prepares future educators to meet the demands of the teaching profession in the Philippines, as reflected in the LET, PPST, and K-12 reforms. So this approach develops learners who are critical thinkers, problem solvers, and responsible citizens, which align with national educational goals. So let's say, for example, a project-based learning activities that involve community issues such as waste management or disaster preparedness allow students to apply academic concept to real societal concerns. Such practices are frequently embedded in LET questions that assess teaching relevance and application of learning. So learner-centered teaching also encourages lifelong learning as essential trait for teachers who must adapt to curriculum changes, technology integration, and evolving learner needs. So through mastering learner-centered principle early in the course, you as a student preparing for the board exam gain a strong conceptual framework for answering theoretical and right now, most commonly sa LET, situational questions. So more importantly, you develop professional competence that extends beyond passing the LET and into effective classroom practice. So this week's discussion set the foundation of understanding teaching as a learner-focused, ethical, and transformative profession in the Philippine educational system. Okay. Learner-centered teachings, again, refers to the instructional approach that places the learner at the core of the teaching and learning processes. No? Recognizing that students actively construct knowledge based on their experiences, prior understanding, and social context. No? In the Philippine education system, this principle is strongly reflected in the K-12 curriculum and the Philippine Professional Standards for Teachers, both of which are frequently referenced in LET questions. No? So rather than focusing solely on content delivery, learner-centered teaching emphasizes understanding how students learn and how instruction can be adapted to meet their needs. Let's say, for example, in a grade 4 science class, no, in a public school, the teacher may begin a lesson on states of matter by asking learners to describe what happens to ice during summer in their barangay. So this approach makes learning meaningful and contextualized, which is a key principle tested in the LET under educational psychology and teaching strategy. So learner-centered teaching also promotes autonomy, critical thinking, and collaboration, which are expected outcomes of quality instruction. Licensure examination for teachers or LET items often ask examinees to identify which teaching practice best reflects learner-centered principles, making a clear understanding of each meaning essential. So mastery of these principles helps future teachers distinguish effective teaching from traditional rote instruction. When comparing teacher-centered and learner-centered approaches, it is important for LET examinees to understand their fundamental differences and appropriate application. Again, I just want to reiterate, teacher-centered instruction focuses on the teacher as the primary source of knowledge. Yung ginagawa ko ngayon, I am the primary source of knowledge. That is the teacher-centered instruction. Okay, open using lectures, so as drills and recitation, which are still common in many Philippine classrooms due to large class size. In contrast, ito yung learner-centered instruction. Learner-centered instruction shifts the focus to student participation, inquiry, and interaction, allowing learners to take an active role in the learning process. That's why you are the one who required to present, to study, advanced study, research on the topic that was assigned to you. And you are the one who discussed the topic to make you active in learning process. So for instance, instead of lecturing about Philippine heroes, learner-centered teachers may ask students to work in group and analyze how local heroes in the province contributed to nation building. Let questions frequently represent classroom scenarios and ask which approach best promote higher order thinking skills. While teacher-centered methods may be useful for introducing concept or managing time constraint. Learner-centered strategies are more effective for deep understanding. In the Philippine schools implementing flexible learning, learner-centered approaches also support blended and modular instruction as what we did right now. Understanding when and why to use each approach is critical for answering situational LET questions correctly. In learner-centered classroom, the role of the teacher shifts from being a sole authority to a facilitator of learning, which is recurring concept in the licensure exam. Teachers guide discussions, design meaningful learning tasks, and provide feedback rather than simply transmitting information. Let's say, for example, in a senior high school English class, the teacher may facilitate a debate on social media influence instead of giving a long lecture, allowing students to express ideas and support them with evidence. And these rules align with constructivist theories such as those of Gotsky, which are commonly included in professional education exam questions. In the Philippine classroom, facilitation may involve guiding learners to use local resources such as community experiences or indigenous knowledge. The teacher also monitors progress and adjusts instruction based on learner responses. LET examiners are often asked to identify the most appropriate teacher action in a given situation, and facilitator rules are usually the correct answers in learner-centered scenarios. Okay, again, sa LET exam, most commonly the question focus on appropriate teacher action in a given situation. And facilitator rules are usually the correct answer in learner-centered scenarios. When the questions in left asking the learner-centered scenarios for a given teacher situation, the possible answer is related to a facilitator rules. No? Now, equally important in learner-centered teaching is the role of learners who are expected to be active participants in their own learning. When we say learner-centered, the students are active participants, okay, in your own learning. In the Philippine context, this means the students are encouraged to ask questions, collaborate with peers, and reflect on their learning experiences. For instance, in a mathematics class, no, learners may solve real-life problems involving market prices or transportation pairs, which are familiar to Filipino students. Let questions often test whether examiners recognize learners as constructor of knowledge rather than passive listeners. No? Learners in learner-centered classrooms are also responsible for setting goals, no, managing tasks, and evaluating your own performance. This responsibility foster independence and accountability, no, traits emphasized in the K-12 learner competencies in classroom with diverse learners, and the student may demonstrate understanding in different ways, such as oral presentation or creative outputs. No, recognizing the active role of learners helps let examiners identify teaching practices and promote engagement and meaningful learning experience. No? So we are also going to discuss the rules of teachers, rules of learners, expectation of the course, outcomes of learner-centered teaching, and the conclusion. Now, meaning and principles of learner-centered teaching. Again, as I mentioned, learner-centered teaching refers to an educational approach that prioritizes the needs, abilities, interests, and experiences of learners in the teaching learning process. No? So, one fundamental principle of learner-centered teaching is the recognition of learner diversity, which is highly emphasized in the Philippine education and in the licensure exams. No? Learners differ in terms of background, language, learning style, and ability, and effective teaching response to these differences. In public school classrooms with students from various socio-economic backgrounds, a teacher may provide multiple examples when explaining a concept to ensure understanding. For instance, when teaching percentages in mathematics, no, example may include sari-sari store discount or mobile load promos familiar to Filipino learners. And these principles aligns with differentiated instruction, a common concept tested in licensure examination for teachers. So teachers are expected to adjust strategies, materials, hindi na po tayo Manila paper, and pacing based on learner needs. In inclusive classrooms, teachers may allow oral responses to learners who struggle with writing. Licensure exam items often ask which teaching practice best addresses individual differences, making this principle is essential for exam success. Another key principle of learner-centered teaching is active learning, as what we discussed earlier, when students are encouraged to participate meaningfully in the learning process. Now, learner-centered teaching also emphasizes constructivist learning, which holds that learners build new knowledge based on prior experiences. And this principle is rooted in the theories by Piaget and Gatsky, both of which are commonly included in licensure exam copyrights. No? A central principle of learner-centered teaching is the teacher's role as facilitator rather than a sole source of knowledge. Okay? Assessment is another important principle of learner-centered teaching, particularly the use of formative and authentic assessment. No? In the Philippine schools, assessment is not limited to quizzes and exams, but includes performance tasks, projects, and reflective activities. No? So, for instance, a student may be asked to create a poster on environmental conservation in their community as part of the assessment. And this type of assessment measures understanding, creativity, and application of knowledge. Licensure exam questions often ask which assessment method best measure learning objectives or higher order thinking skills. Learner-centered assessment provides feedback that helps learners improve rather than merely assigning grades. It also allows learners to reflect on their progress and take responsibility for improvement. No? So, learner-centered teaching promotes motivation and lifelong learning, no? Which are key goals of Philippine education. When learners see the relevance of lessons to their daily lives, they become more motivated to learn. Let's say, for example, integrating local issues such as waste management or disaster preparedness into lesson make learners meaningful and purposeful. Licensure exam questions often assess whether teaching practices encourage intrinsic motivation rather than fear of failure. So learner-centered classroom foster a positive learning environment where students feel respected and valued. And this environment support confidence, curiosity, and persistence in learning. So understanding the meaning and principle of learner-centered teaching equips future teachers to succeed in the licensure exam and to practice effective, ethical, and responsive teaching. And these principles serve as a strong foundation for both board exam preparation and professional teaching practice in the Philippine setting. So, learner-centered teaching is defined as the educational approach that places the learner at the heart of teaching learning process, recognizing student as active participant rather than passive recipient of knowledge. No? So, learner-centered, no, historically, no, learner-centered teaching developed as a response to traditional teacher-centered instruction, which relied heavily on memorization and recitation. During our time po yan, no? We are required to memorize everything and to recite right after our teacher discussion. Now, so in our country, earlier educational practices were largely influenced by colonial models. That is influence actually yung memorization and recitation influenced by colonial models that emphasize discipline and content mastery. Over time, educational reform shifted toward progressive education, highlighting student agency and critical thinking. Ang tawag natin doon ay progressive education. Okay? This shift is reflected in current DepEd policies and teacher education programs, which are often referenced in the licensure examination. Let's say, for example, instead of memorizing definition in Araling Panlipunan, learners may now analyze local community issues and propose solutions. Let or licensure exam questions frequently ask examinees to identify which teaching philosophy supports critical thinking and learner engagement. Understanding the historical roots of learner-centered teaching helps future teachers appreciate why modern classroom emphasize participation in inquiry. And this historical perspective is important for answering licensure exam questions related to educational philosophies and movements. One defining characteristic of learner-centered teaching is its focus on student, no? Where learners are given opportunities to make decisions about their learning. So in our country, this may involve allowing students to choose topics for projects or methods of presenting their outputs. For instance, in an English class, students may choose whether to present a report through an oral presentation or a poster or a short video. And this practice respects learners' interests and strengths, which is a core principles of learner-centered teaching. Licensure examination question often assess whether teacher encourage independence and responsibility among learners. Students also increase motivation, especially among learners who feel valued and heard. In overcrowded public schools, giving learners small choices can still make a significant difference. Recognizing student agency as part of the definition helps licensure exam examinees identify learner-centered environments accurately. Another important aspect of learner-centered teaching is emphasis on meaningful learning. Huh? Teachers often draw example from local culture, traditionals, and daily life. No? When teaching fraction, no? A teacher may use example involving dividing food during family meals or fiestas, no? And this practice helps learners understand abstract concept more easily. Learner-centered teaching also values collaboration and social interaction, recognizing that learning is a social process. So in our Philippine classroom, group activities and cooperative learning are commonly used to promote teamwork and communication skills. No? Assessment is also redefined in learner-centered teaching, shifting from purely summative tests to formative and authentic assessment. In the Philippine context, this include performance tasks, projects, and reflective activities required under the K-12 curriculum. So, the definition of learner-centered teaching in the Philippine context goes beyond a teaching strategy and represent a comprehensive philosophy of education. It emphasizes the active participation, meaningful learning, learner diversity, collaboration, and authentic assessment. And these elements are consistently reflected in the licensure exam, making this topic crucial for board exam preparation. Future teachers must understand not only the definition, but also its practical applications in a real classroom. Learner-centered teaching prepares educators to respond to diverse learners' needs and real-life challenges. It also aligns with national educational goals of producing critical, responsible, and lifelong learners. Mastery of this concept equips licensure examinees with the conceptual clarity needed to succeed in both examination and the teaching profession. One core principle of learner-centered teaching is active learning, which emphasizes meaningful student involvement in the learning process. No? Okay, so another essential principle of learner-centered teaching is collaboration and communication, which recognizes learning as a social responses. No? So another important principle is meaningful and contextualized learner, where lessons are connected to learners' real-life experiences. So, learner-centered teaching emphasizes assessment for learning, not just assessment of learning. Okay? In Philippine classroom includes formative assessments such as performance tasks, projects, and reflective activities aligned with K-12 standards. No? So, let's say example, no, as I mentioned earlier, instead of written test, a student may create a simple project addressing environmental concern in their barangay. So let questions open assess with their teachers understand the purpose of assessment in improving instruction and learning. So learner-centered assessment provides feedback that helps learners recognize trends and areas for improvement. It also encourages self-assessment and responsibility for learning. Teacher use assessment result to adjust strategies and support learners more effectively. So understanding this principle equips licensure examinees to answer questions related to evaluation, feedback, and instructional improvement. Okay. So what will be the benefits? No? Learner-centered teaching refers to an educational approach that places the learner at the core of the teaching learning process, emphasizing active participation, understanding, and application of knowledge. One important learner-centered teaching is that learning should be meaningful and relevant. No? So we need to enhance the engagement and improve learning outcomes. So learner-centered teaching also emphasizes respect for learners' diversity, as I mentioned earlier. So learner-centered teaching highlights the shared responsibility of teachers and learners in the classroom process. Wait lang. Wait for a while. Okay. So, enhance engagement. I just want to be more ano in that. Enhanced engagement is one of the most important outcomes of learner-centered teaching, as it reflects learners' active involvement in the learning process. In Philippine classroom, engagement becomes evident when students participate willingly in discussions, activities, and collaborative tasks. Instead of simply learning or listening to lectures, learners interact with content, peers, and the teachers. No? So one reason learner-centered teaching enhances engagement is that it gives learners a sense of ownership over their learning. Enhanced engagement is also achieved when lessons are relevant and meaningful to learners' lives. No? Another factor that enhance engagement is the use of interactive and varied teaching strategies. So enhanced engagement leads to better learning experiences and outcomes of Filipino learners. Improved learning outcomes are a key benefit of learner-centered teaching because this approach focuses on deep understanding rather than surface-level memorization. One reason learner-centered teaching leads to improved learning outcomes is its emphasis on deep learning. So, improved learning outcomes are also achieved through personalized and differentiated instruction, which is a hallmark of learner-centered teaching. And another factor contributing to improved learning outcomes is the use of formative assessment and feedback. So improved learning outcomes reflect the effectiveness of learner-centered teaching in preparing students for real-life challenges. In the Philippine context, learners who experience learner-centered instruction develop critical thinking, communication, and problem-solving skills. Now, so teacher-centered versus learner-centered approaches. Teacher-centered approaches refer to instructional methods where the teacher serves as the primary authority in search of knowledge in the classroom. A defining feature of teacher-centered approach is the authority of the teacher in directing all classroom activities. No? So teacher-centered approaches also prioritize content transmission where the main goal is to cover the prescribed syllabus. No? So assessment in centered and teacher-centered classroom typically relies on standardized tests and written examination. Despite its limitation, teacher-centered approach will still have practical application in the Philippine classroom when used appropriately. Okay? Then teacher-centered. Of course, again, I just want to compare the teaching method of the focus on content versus focus on students. A key comparison between teacher-centered and learner-centered teaching lies in their primary focus, particularly content coverage versus learner development. Teacher-centered approaches focus heavily on delivering subject matter efficiently, often prioritizing completion of the core syllabus, as I mentioned. In teacher-centered classroom, learning is often evaluated based on a student's ability to recall information, as emphasizing correct answers and factual accuracy. Another major point of the comparison is the role of assessment. No? In each teaching method, teachers' approach rely heavily on summative assessment such as quizzes, sit works, and periodic examination. So the focus on students and learner-centered teaching also allows for individual progress and growth to be recognized. So the comparison between content-focused and student-focused teaching highlights the philosophical difference between the two approaches. While learner-centered teaching views learning as a process of the development. So we have the assessment methods, as I mentioned earlier, no? On student autonomy, no? A learner-centered approach promotes student autonomy, allowing learners to take charge of their educational experiences, fostering independence and motivation in your learning journey. Teachers' roles in learning, no? One major implication of the teaching approach used in the classroom is its reflect of the student autonomy, as I mentioned. Because in in teacher-centered classroom, learners have limited opportunities to make decisions about their learning as the teacher control most classroom activities. No? So learner-centered approach empowers students to become independent and self-directed learners. No? So the teacher's roles as a facilitator also has implication for classroom interaction and engagement. So the implication of teacher-centered and learner-centered approach extend beyond instruction and affect learners' long-term development. Learner-centered teaching prepares students to become lifelong learners who can adapt to changing environment. Okay, so the roles of teachers in learner-centered classroom. In learner-centered classroom, the teachers also fulfills the important role of a mentor and coach, guiding learners beyond academic institution. No? So as a mentors, teachers support individual learning paths by recognizing learners' strengths, weaknesses, and interests. That's why we need to pre-assess our student. No? So coaching also involves providing constructive feedback that help learners improve performance and build evidence. No? Another aspect of the mentor's coach rules, of course, is motivating and encouraging learners. No? So we need to guide and provide resources for our students. Okay? Supporting individual learning paths is also another important, and offering feedback and encouragement. And that feedback must be a constructive, no, and developmental. No? So the teacher's role as a mentor and coach contributes to holistic learning development, which is the key goal of the Philippine education. Okay, collaborator classroom with students. In learning-centered classroom, teacher functions not only as facilitator and mentors, but also a collaborators with students in the learning process. So these roles emphasize partnership rather than hierarchy, where teachers and learners work together toward shared learning goals. No? So involving students in decision-making and co-creating learning experiences. No? Now, active participation or active participants of the lessons. No? So, excuse. Taking responsibility for the learner. So students actively engage in their education by setting personal goals, monitoring their progress, and reflecting on the learning experiences to foster a sense of ownership. No? Another is engaging in self-directed activities, as what I discussed earlier. Working in groups is also another. So students collaborate in diverse teams to achieve common objectives, so developing teamwork skills and leveraging different perspectives to enhance problem solving and creativity. Through peer interaction, learners exchange insights and techniques, now fostering a culture of mutual respect and support while enhancing their understanding of various subjects. Okay, critical thinkers, no? Analyzing and evaluating information, Students should develop skills to assess data critically, distinguishing between credible sources and misinformation, which is essential for informed decision-making in academic real-world context. Learners apply their knowledge to tackle practical challenges, enhancing their ability to diverse innovative solutions while understanding the implication of their decision and broader context. Now, so what will be the expectation of the course? Assessment criteria in the course are designed to measure not only students, but knowledge, no? Uh, knowledge, but also their ability to apply centered or learner-centered teaching principles in realistic classroom situations. Huh? So, in the Philippine education system, assessment is expected to align with your learning objective, with your teaching strategies, and desired outcomes. A concept frequently tested in the licensure exam. Rather than relying solely on written exam, this course used varied assessment methods to evaluate understanding and skill develop. No? So let's say, for example, a student may be asked to analyze classroom scenarios and recommend learner-centered strategies. Licensure exam questions often assess whether future teachers understand alignment among objective instruction and assessment. No? Excuse me. So, of course, it requires knowledge and skills to be acquired in the learning objectives and what will be the expected competencies. No? Assessment, possible feedback mechanism, as what we discussed, and identify the type of assessment. No? Student commitment must be to have a participation in class activities and responsibilities for group work. No? So, in the student engagement, no, we need to increase the student motivation. So students can exhibit heightened enthusiasm for learners as they feel more empowered and relevant in their educational choices. Greater involvement in learning. So learner-centered approaches encourage the students to actively participate in discussion and activities, no? Learning to deeper understanding and retention of material through collaborative experiences, no? So academic achievement, of course, improved grades and mastery of content, no? We need to, for the lifelong learning, no, develop of critical thinking and skills of future endeavor. Okay, so the question and answer, no, serve as the critical component of learner-centered teaching because it provides learners with the opportunity to clarify concept, no, express concerns, and deepen understanding. No? So encouraging open dialogue during Q&A sessions promote a safe and inclusive learning environment. No? The Q&A session also support the development of critical thinking and reflective skills. When learners ask questions, they analyze no information and identify gaps in understanding. Another important aspect is the future course schedule, no? Which provides learners with a clear roadmap of upcoming topics and expectation on learner-centered teaching. No? So we need to recap of learner-centered principles and importance of roles in learning as a summary. No? So Chapter 1 emphasizes of the foundation of learner-centered teaching, which is highly relevant to early childhood education and frequently appears in the professional education portion under the licensure examination for teacher. No? For VSED student, no, learner-centered teaching is especially important because young children learn best through play. Di ba, mga bata yan, ano? Exploration, interaction, and meaningful experiences. In the Philippine context, this approach aligns with the K-12 curriculum and early childhood care and development framework. Let questions often ask which teaching strategy is most appropriate for young learners, and the correct answers usually reflects learner-centered principles. Understanding that children are active learners, not passive recipients, is crucial. Teachers must create environment where children feel safe, valued, and engaged. And this chapter laid the conceptual groundwork for understanding teaching as responsive to children developmental needs. One key takeaway, no, for the board exam, take note of it, is the difference between teacher-centered and learner-centered. For early childhood settings, teacher-centered approach such as long lectures and strict sit work are generally inappropriate. Take note, ha? Teacher-centered methods such as long lectures and strict sit work are generally inappropriate. Licensure exam questions often present scenarios involving young learners and ask which teaching approach best support learning. The correct answers usually involve play-based, experiential, or child initiative activities. Take note of it, ha? BSED students should remember that learner-centered teaching promotes autonomy, curiosity, and exploration. So in the Philippine preschool and primary classroom activities such as storytelling, singing, role-playing, and guided play reflect learner-centered practice. Understanding this distinction help you eliminate incorrect choices in multiple choice question. Always consider the learner's age and developmental stage when answering licensure examination for teacher items. Another important board exam tip is to focus on roles of teachers and learners, no, in a learner-centered classroom. Let exam frequently test whether teachers act as a facilitator, guides, or mentors rather than strict authorities. For early childhood education, the teacher's role is to scaffold learning, observe children's behavior, and provide guidance when needed. Learners, on the other hand, are expected to be active participants to explore or who explore, ask questions, and interact with peers. In the Philippine setting, this aligns with child-friendly classroom practices promoted by DepEd. When answering let question, choose options that show teachers guiding rather than controlling learning. Avoid choices that portray children as silent, passive, or overly restricted. This mindset is critical for BSED examinees. No? Assessment is another area where let questions commonly appear, especially in relation to learner-centered teaching. For early childhood education, assessment should be, dapat ito ang mga assessment sa early childhood, dapat formative, dapat authentic, at dapat developmentally appropriate. Instead of written test, observation, portfolios, checklists, and performance tasks are prepared. Let questions often ask which assessment method is most suitable for young children, and the correct answer usually avoids paper and pencil exam. Walang paper, pen, and pencil, lalo sa mga young adults. BSED students should remember that assessment in early childhood focuses on growth and development, not ranking or competition. In Philippine classroom, teachers observe children's behavior, participation, and progress over time. Understanding this help examine select correct answers related to evaluation and assessment. Always think of assessment as a tool to support learning, not to pressure our student. Learner-centered teaching also leads to important outcomes such as engagement, academic readiness, and lifelong learning skills, which are commonly tested in licensure examination for teachers. So, for early childhood learners, no, engagement is seen when children are excited, curious, and willing to participate in activities. Let question may ask, which classroom situations show effective learner engagement? And the correct answer often describe children active playing, exploring, or interacting. BSED students should associate learner-centered teaching with motivation and enjoyment in learning. In the Philippine context, engaged learners are more likely to develop positive attitudes towards score. school. And these outcomes support long-term educational success. Recognizing this connection helps examinees answer outcome-based question confidently. A practical board exam tip is to always read let questions carefully and identify keywords such as early childhood, young learners, play-based, or developmentally appropriate. And this keyword signals that learner-centered principles should be applied. Best students should avoid choosing answers that sound academically advanced but are unsuitable for the children. When in doubt, choose the option that prioritizes the child needs, interest, and developmental level. In the Philippine LET exam, scenario-based questions are common, especially in professional education. Practice analyzing situations from the perspective of preschool or primary teacher. This strategy improves accuracy and confidence during the exam. Another important tip is connect theory to practice, no? As LET question rarely ask for definition alone. Instead, they test with their examinees can apply concepts such as learner-centered teaching in the real classroom situation. Busy students should imagine actual Philippine classroom when answering questions. Ask yourself which action a caring, competent early childhood teachers would take. The best answer usually promotes safety, engagement, inclusion, and positive relationship. Avoid extreme or rigid options that limit children's movement or expression. No? Consistency in reviewing concept from chapter 1 will strengthen your foundation for the rest of the course and the board exam. Learner-centered teaching is not an isolated topic, but a guiding principles that applies to teaching, strategies, assessment, classroom management, and child development. You, as best student, should revisit this chapter regularly as the study for the licensure exam. Understanding this principle early makes advanced topics easier to grasp. No, in the Philippine teaching profession, effective early childhood educators are those who understand how children learn best, and mastery of chapter 1 set the tone for professional growth and board exam readiness. No? Before I end, the chapter 1 established the essential foundation of learner-centered teaching as the core philosophy of early or effective early childhood education. So it emphasized that teaching young learners requires sensitivity to their developmental needs, interests, and learning styles. So for the next meeting, we will proceed to chapter 2, which will be discussed by the assigned presenter. And all students are expected to read chapter 2 in advance, review key concepts, and prepare questions for insights related to the topic. Active participation during the presentation is encouraged, as this will help deepen understanding and strengthen LET preparation. Please come to class and prepare and ready to engage discussion. Okay? So again, the concept that we discussed earlier are not only vital for classroom practice, but also highly relevant for the PRC licensure examination for teachers. As the future vested professional, students are encouraged to internalize these principles and apply them consistently. And this chapter serves as the guiding framework for all succeeding discussion in the course. So I think that's it for today and for the topic. And thank you so much for listening. Now I will entertain questions if you have some questions related to the discussion.